Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle, they've just learned the hardest of lessons, which is, if you start a brawl, do not be surprised if you end up getting punched twice as hard. In fact, South Park has just knocked them out.
They asked for privacy. South Park gave them humiliation. What began as a simple satirical jab turned into a cultural bonfire. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, once the darlings of daytime interviews and docuseries royalty, have just been roasted harder than ever. And this time, not even Oprah can save them. It started quietly. Months after South Park aired its infamous worldwide privacy tour episode, mocking the Sussexes, the noise had finally settled. The headlines cooled, the outrage faded. Even the most meme-happy corners of Twitter moved on. Until someone, somewhere, dropped a grenade. A random Reddit thread, buried deep in a comment section, uploaded what appeared to be leaked animation frames from a new, unreleased South Park episode. At first, most people dismissed it as fan art, but then the frames started surfacing everywhere, on TikTok, on X, on Instagram meme accounts.
We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Wah.
And they weren't just mocking, they were devastating. The first leaked image showed Meghan, South Park style, sitting atop a crumbling throne, constructed entirely from the debris of her brand deals. Broken archetypes wine bottles, a smashed Spotify logo, and a cracked microphone labeled Pearl. Her eyes, cold and distant, glowed with blinking dollar signs. In her lap, a scroll titled Duchess of Influencing. It was brutal and brilliant. In the next scene, cartoon Harry was slumped in a therapist's chair, oversized baby bottle in hand, staring at a sign that read, "Still spare." The therapist, disinterested, scribbled something on a clipboard. Chronic identity crisis. This wasn't parody. This was an execution. And the internet went wild. Within hours, TikTokers began remixing the leaked scene with Meghan's voiceovers from her podcast. One viral video layered the throne clip with Meghan saying, "My voice is power," while her animated self sipped wine under a banner, reading, "Now streaming nothing." 3 million views in 12 hours.
Developing right now, growing talk in Hollywood that South Park could be planning a Harry and Meghan sequel. Oh, goodness me. I would be very excited about this.
Memes flooded in. Hashtags grew teeth. Archewell was in meltdown mode. But the real panic set in when Meghan and Harry's legal team realized something chilling. This wasn't a joke. This was unreleased content, real production assets, and someone had access to them. Q, Double Down Protocol. Cease and desist letters were fired off to Comedy Central, to South Park Studios, to Twitter users suspected of spreading the images. One insider called it a digital witch hunt. Reposting a meme suddenly made you a target. But Meghan's team forgot one thing. South Park doesn't back down. In fact, they weaponize backlash. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the show's creators, are known for building entire plot lines out of lawsuits and media outrage. As one Hollywood insider put it, "You threaten South Park? Congratulations. You just gave them their next season opener." Still, Meghan didn't laugh. She lawyered up. Her advisors combed through U.S. defamation laws, intellectual property clauses, anything they could use to muzzle the show. Meghan had won lawsuits before, most famously against the Mail on Sunday. Why not try again?
When it comes to the Sussexes?
I think it's because their life has been so ridiculous. Obviously, being members of the royal family, anything to do with them is obviously big news, but it's the kind of sensationalist way that they left the royal.
But South Park is legally bulletproof. their satire is protected. Attempting to sue them wasn't just a bad move, it was the nuclear option, and her team knew it. In the meantime, Hollywood started pulling back. Events Meghan and Harry used to headline suddenly had regretfully declined RSVPs. Publicists didn't want the drama. A-list celebrities stopped engaging, and a few even reposted the South Park memes. Quietly, anonymously, but noticeably. Then came Harry's blunder. According to insiders, Harry, burned out and desperate, allegedly reached out to sympathetic media outlets to redirect the narrative. The goal? Shift the focus to mental health. Paint the parody as cruel. Show that the prince was hurting. But Meghan's team hadn't approved the move. He went rogue. And it backfired spectacularly. Comedians pounced. Late-night hosts clipped Harry's old interviews and added laugh tracks. British satire shows joined in, portraying him as the Duke of Disorientation, wandering through Montecito, asking Alexa for directions.
For privacy, and you have done everything against actually getting their privacy, signing multi-million dollar deals with the likes of Netflix. And
the internet wasn't laughing with them anymore. It was laughing without them. And Meghan's usual supporters? Even they were exhausted. Not the hardcore fans, but the casual sympathizers, the ones who defended her post-Oprah, post-Spotify. They started sharing memes, not out of malice, but fatigue. One tweet said it all. At this point, I don't know if it's parody or PR. Either way, I'm tired. The Sussex brand, built on narrative control, was crumbling. Every response fueled the flames. Every silence made it worse. So Meghan held back. No interviews, no statements, no carefully worded Instagram captions. But Harry didn't get the memo. According to reports, he continued pushing behind the scenes, leaking stories, whispering to press allies, trying to reset the storyline. But instead of helping, he became the next meme. His cartoon self, baby bottle and all, was turned into a GIF, a sticker, a digital punchline. And Meghan? She watched it unfold in horror.
Now, coming up, you might remember from yesterday, we played a little clip from South Park, because South Park, a very successful animated series over in the United States of America, I think it's available on Comedy Central here. They've got a new series out, and they've started making fun.
Inside Archewell, emergency meetings were held. Crisis teams activated. Some advisors wanted to sue. Others begged her to rebrand. Less talking, more mystery, one strategist said. Let the silence do what your words can't. Even her inner circle was divided. Some pushed for a fierce clapback, calling out South Park's problematic history. Others said the brand was beyond satire. It had become satire. Then came the final blow. Meghan's fans weren't posting her podcast quotes. They were reposting South Park. The cultural firestorm had scorched everything in its path. Sponsors grew wary. Brand partners backed off. Influencers, once proud to align with her, quietly moved on. And Hollywood? It iced them out. One event organizer whispered, "We don't want a circus." In a last-ditch move, Meghan explored a lawsuit. Again. Legal advisors drafted a theoretical case. She was told, again, it would fail. And worse, it would fuel South Park with a decade's worth of jokes. So she backed off. Not willingly, reluctantly. Because even she realized South Park doesn't lose. And what stung most wasn't just the mockery. It was that no one stood up for them.
Today, the clip showed two little kids talking in a classroom about how they're sick to death of hearing about Harry and Meghan.
No celebrity defenders, no big-name journalists, not even their usual media allies. Silence, which made everything louder. The once dominant narrative, Meghan's story told her way, was being rewritten in real time. And for the first time since leaving the royal family, she wasn't in control. As one commentator put it, she spent years building a castle out of interviews, docuseries, and PR. South Park toppled it with 4 frames and a fart joke. The irony? It worked. Search interest spiked. Their name was back in the headlines. People rewatched old content, debated her podcast, picked apart Harry's memoir. The mockery revived their relevance. South Park might have humiliated them, but it also made them impossible to ignore. Now, the question isn't whether Meghan and Harry got mocked. It's whether they'll turn that humiliation into their most unexpected twist yet. Redemption.